The story follows a young man, Otosaka Yuu, who narrates his ability to possess someone else's body for 5 seconds at a time. While he is in possession of someone else, his own body will be in a state of sleep. Yuu would possess the body of people he doesn't like and make them fight each other. He even uses the power to possess the brilliant students in his class during exams so he can get perfect scores. In order to gain admission into high school, Yuu compiled a list of brilliant students seeking admission into the school of his choice and sat with them during the examination. Once the results are out, Yuu comes out with the best and perfect score out of all the students that applied. When he is called to the podium to address his fellow freshmen, the students cannot but notice how handsome Yuu is. They all compliment his beauty and his smartness. Little do they know that he is a cheat. Yuu starts receiving various calls and texts from ladies who desire him. Yuu always finds a way to send them away because the lady of his choice, Yumi, hasn't approached him yet. Yumi is the most popular freshman, and this has made Yuu develop interest in her. One day, Yuu possesses a truck driver and directs the truck toward Yumi, but Yuu quickly sweeps in and saves Yumi. With this, Yuu sealed his spot as Yumi's savior and someone she can be with. Everything is going according to plan, and Yumi invites Yuu out on a pancake date. After his first date with Yumi, Yuu receives a text from her that she would like them to go out again. This excites Yuu, and he doesn't know when he lets out a hysterical laugh in the class. Just then, Yuu is invited to the student council office. He gets to the office, and the student council president, Umura, presents Yuu with an exact copy of his entrance examination papers. Yuu is under the suspicion of cheating, and he needs to answer the questions again. He has to get at least 90% of the answers, or he will consider guilty of cheating. Yuu initially refuses to accept the test, but he immediately reconsiders when he is told that he will be expelled if he doesn't take the exam. Yuu sits down for the exam. He believes that Umura is holding the answers to the questions and decides to possess him. To his greatest surprise, Umura is actually viewing a magazine that contains adult content. Yuu is furious, and he tears the magazine into pieces. Umura regains himself, and he is shocked to see the magazine he was holding in tiny pieces. Suddenly, a girl that has been stalking and monitoring Yuu for some time appears beside him. She reveals that her name is Tomori Nao, and she is also a student council president, but from another school. Nao holds her camera to Yuu's eyes and lets him know that she is aware of his powers. Yuu gets angry when he realizes that Nao already has detailed information about him. He runs out of the office and bumps into a boy in black. He keeps running but realizes that the boy is following him. Yuu is still running when the boy suddenly appears behind him at great speed and whisks him off to a field. The boy reveals that his own power is called breakneck movement, and it gives him the ability to move at high speed. However, he doesn't know how to stop easily, and he has landed in the hospital several times because of this. Nao arrives to tell Yuu that he will be transferred to their school, Star Ocean Academy. It is said that the powers they have only last for some time and it leaves them at some point. Nao wants Yuu to attend their school before his powers disappear. They already have the approval of Yuu's uncle, who is also his guardian. Yuu tries to hit Nao, but she disappears right in front of him, and before Yuu could realize what was going on, several blows have already landed on him. Turns out that Nao's power is invincibility. However, she can only make herself invincible to one person of her choice. Yuu settles down when he has been humbled by Nao and is informed that he will be joining the school student council so that his power would be used to catch other powered individuals like himself who usually abuse their power. Later that day, Yuu arrives home to hear from his younger sister, Ayumi, that she has also been granted a scholarship to Star Ocean Academy Middle School. Ayumi makes Yuu's favorite childhood dish, omelet rice, for dinner. Yuu has already told Ayumi several times that his childhood favorite dish is different from what he likes now. He takes a bite from the rice, and the taste sends him to paradise. During his conversation with his sister, we get to know that their mother left them after she divorced their father. The duo was pushed over to their uncle after their mother left. Before going to sleep, Ayumi uses her telescope to look into space, just like she does every night. The following day, the duo resumed to their new dormitory. It is revealed that Yumi already broke up with Yuu earlier on because the distance between the two schools is massive. Shortly afterward, the speedster, Takaju, and Nao come to visit the siblings in their dormitory to help them sort out their belongings. When going to school the next day, Yuu's sister packs a lunch of omelet rice for him again. Upon getting to school, Yuu asks if everyone attending the school has superpowers, but Nao says no. However, most of the students attending the school have a high chance of developing powers later. Turns out that there is an organization that is always on the hunt for superhumans. They usually carry out inhumane experiments on them. Nao knows this because her brother fell victim to it. This is the reason Nao wants to find every superhuman and bring them to the school before the organization finds them. Yuu doesn't want to join the student council, but he reconsiders when he learns that each council member gets paid. Later on, Yu gets to his class to find out that Nao and Takaju are both in his class. He is surprised by this and asks Takaju if the school permits Year 1 student to be the council president. Takaju informs Yu that it is allowed as long as the president is ready to shoulder the responsibilities given to him or her. During lunch, Takaju runs to the cafeteria to get lunch for them. He successfully gets the food, but he is wounded in the process. Takaju doesn't seem to be feeling any pain from the injuries he sustained. Yu is even surprised that Takaju is still standing with the amount of blood coming out of his head. Shortly afterward, Yu, Nao, and Takaju go to the council office. A guy with water dripping from his body enters the office. Takaju says the guy is the collaborator who helps them to locate people with powers. The collaborator points at a spot on the map and says the person has psychotic photography. It is time for Yu and his counterparts to find this person before anyone else gets to him. The trio soon arrives at the school where their target is attending. Nao starts to gather intel about any unusual occurrence among the students. They find a probable target and Nao tasks Yu with possessing the boy so that they can search his bag. The boy tries to run away, but Yu possesses him and makes him drop his bag. Nao searches the bag and finds some bad photographs of female students. The boy quickly reveals that he is not responsible for taking the pictures. He actually bought the pictures from someone else. The boy tells the team that he got the photographs from Udo. The team soon finds Udo, who turns out to also be the captain of the archery team. Udo reveals that he needs the money, and that's the reason he takes unclean pictures of girls and sells them. Nao warns him about his actions and the consequences they might bring. He is also asked to join the academy to avoid ending up as a lab rat. When returning home, Nao tells Yu that he is free to follow her to see his brother the next day. The following day, Yu and Nao get on a train to see Nao's brother. During their journey, Nao can't stop eating. She is just buying everything she sees. She then narrates to Yu how her brother was captured. Some time ago, some people told their mother that they wanted to give Nao and her brother Ni a scholarship to attend their school. Nao and Ni had no interest in going, but their mother begged them to. Upon getting to the school, Nao was separated from her brother. She didn't get to see her brother for a long time. Anytime she wants to go and see her brother, her friends would stop her. Meanwhile, her brother was being subjected to inhumane experiments. Her brother's power could make the air vibrate at will, and these people believed that they can channel it into a signal and communication jammer. A year later, Nao got to see her brother, but he was no longer the brother she once knew. Her brother couldn't even recognize her again. It turns out that the friends that have been stopping her were actually sent by the scientists to keep an eye on her. Nao was also examined every day to confirm if she has powers. There is a high chance that one will have power once their siblings do. Soon afterward, Nao managed to escape from the school. That was when she met the person that helped her. Nao couldn't reveal the person that helped her because they have gotten to their stop already. They enter a big facility and Nao tells the receptionist that she is there to see her brother. Yu and Nao get to Ni's room to find him tearing the sheets. Nao doesn't feel scared of how her brother is acting and she only tries to calm him. A nurse later comes in to attend to Ni. They put Ni in a wheelchair and take him outside to see the evening view. Nao reveals that the person that helped was also the person that provided the facility for his brother. Yu hopes that Ni's condition will have a cure one day. When Yu returns home, he starts to think about how Ayumi would be devastated just like Nao if he ever gets caught. Up next, Takaju uses his ability to get them the best curry delicacy around. Yu is still munching down on the food when he receives a call from Nao that they should come to the office. The collaborator soon joins them in the office also, and Takaju explains that the collaborator usually soaks himself in water because he can't use his power unless he is soaked in water. The collaborator gives them the location of their next target. The intended target is said to have 2 powers. Channeling allows her to create a connection with the dead and pyrokinesis. This comes as a surprise because one is supposed to have just 1 power. They trace the last known location to an alley. Nao figures out that the target is being chased by someone and they need to find him or her quickly. They get to the other side of the alley, and a woman tells them that she saw someone chasing the popular idol star, Yusa. They immediately realize that the person they are looking for is Yusa. Takaju hears this and starts to go crazy. Turns out that he's a big fan of Yusa. He knows everything there is to know about someone. This is how big of a fan Takaju is. As the team deliberates on what to do next, Nao senses someone watching them. The team immediately chases after this unknown person and Takaju tackles him to the wall. He is severely wounded and Nao threatens not to call an ambulance for him if he doesn't reveal who he is working for. Apparently, he is working for Tao TV, but he doesn't know the reason why Yusa is being targeted. An ambulance soon arrives to take away the crook. The team gets approached by a red-haired boy, Sho. He demands to know why they are looking for Yusa. Nao lets him know that the team is the only one that can save Yusa from whoever is after her. The red-haired guy volunteers to take the team to where Yusa is. He already warns them beforehand that Yusa has a mixed personality and they should be careful what they say. They enter a building and lo and behold, Yusa is in the room. Takaju loses his senses when he sees Yusa and has to be controlled by Nao. The red-haired guy calls Yusa by another name, Misa. Nao asks the red-haired guy who Misa is. He says Misa is Yusa's elder sister who died in an accident a year ago. Just then, Yusa stands up and suddenly gets aggressive. It turns out that Misa just took over Yusa's body. Misa has pyrokinesis while Yusa is able to channel the ghost. Yusa will be in a state of sleep whenever Misa takes over. This is the reason people believe she has two powers. It is also worth noting that Yusa isn't aware that her sister often takes over her body. Misa's friends then reveal that Yusa is being targeted because she read the message of a big TV producer. The messages contain shady deals the man is doing. Nao decides to make a plan for the TV producer. Yusa tells the man that she is ready to return his phone and they should meet at a certain location. Upon getting to the location, Takaju and Yuu pretends as bodyguards and displace the original bodyguards. Yusa also turns up to the event as Misa. She pretends to be attacking the bodyguards with fire and this scares the TV producer. Misa gives him his phone and warns him not to come after Yusa again. After that, Nao invites Yusa to their school. Turns out that Sho had always had feelings for Misa, but he never got to tell her. Nao tells him that once Yusa's power goes, Misa will be gone for good too. Should need to summon courage and talk to Misa when he still can. Misa's personality takes over, so she can hear what Sho has to say. Sho confesses his love to Misa, and Misa urges him to forget about her and start living as a new person. Sho also blames himself for Misa's death, because they were both on the same bike when the accident happened, but Sho survived while Misa died. Misa lets him know that what happened wasn't his fault, and he should take it out on himself. With this, Misa says goodbye to Sho and the rest of her friends. Later that night, Yuu gets back home, and Ayumi scolds him for being late. Ayumi watches on TV that Yusa is being admitted into the academy, and this excites her. Turns out that Ayumi is Yusa's fan also. Before going to school the next day, Ayumi makes French toast for breakfast. To make matters worse, Ayumi still adds the family pizza sauce to it. She literally adds the pizza sauce to all the food she makes, because the sauce is counted as Otosaka's secret ingredient. Yu gets to school and he can't believe how crazy people are going because of Yusa. The worst of them all is Takaju. He doesn't even have the capacity to restrain himself when it comes to Yusa. Yusa is also a member of the council now, so she joins them in the office when she is informed that the collaborator is coming. The collaborator points to a spot on the map and reveals that the target's power is telekinesis. After the collaborator left, Nao reveals that she has actually been suspecting the target for some time now. The target is a high school boy who is very good at baseball. She plays one of the video clips she has of the boy. When examined carefully, they find out that he uses his power to make his throw better. Basically, he is poor at the game, but his power has made him better. Nao comments on the urgency to stop him before the qualifiers. Yu complains of leaving school during learning hours, but Nao assures him that his grades will be fine as long as he is on the student council. They go to the target's school to find him. The target, Arifumi, is on the field practicing when Nao and her team arrive. He is surprised to see a student council from another school approaching him. Nao reveals that they are aware of his powers. She warns him that the powers would have left him before he turned pro. Since the power leaves them once they are out of puberty, it means Arifumi's career will go down the drain with it also. It is advisable that he stops using the power now, and if possible, he should withdraw from the team. Arifumi is obstinate, so Nao suggests that they settle it with a baseball game. If Nao and his team win, Arifumi will do whatever they want, but if Arifumi and his team win, Nao gets to stay away forever. The match is to be played at the Star Ocean Academy baseball court. Up next, Arifumi arrives at the court with his team. Moments later, the game starts and Arifumi is getting the upper hand. Nao then tells Yu to possess their batters and make them lose their mark. They do this to close the points, but Arifumi and his team are still destined to win the match. Misa and Takaju both put in their best to close down the points. Misa manages to steal the lead with a narrow home catch. Arifumi is devastated that Nao and her team won the match. Nao tells Arifumi about her condition. Arifumi is to restrain from using his powers henceforth. Arifumi reveals that he is just an average pitcher, but his catcher Takato is on another level. Takato is his friend, and everything he is doing is to push Takato forward. He is not even using the power for himself. Nao advises him to support Takato, and she is sure that he will make it to high ranks. Arifumi would even be proud to say Takato is his friend later in the future. Arifumi thanks her and leaves. Later that day, Yu gets back home and his sister serves him crew stew, but she has added the pizza sauce again. Up next, Nao runs into a lynch mob in school. The mob hits her severely, but she decides not to retaliate. Yu also watches from a distance, but he chose not to interfere because Nao seemed to want what they are doing to her. After that, Yu and Nao go to the council office to meet with their collaborator. He points to the map and says their next target has the power of levitation. Nao reveals that the target is holed up in a mountain. There have been reported sightings of a man flying in the area. Nao suggests that they visit the supermarket before embarking on the journey to the mountain. They get to the supermarket and Nao buys lots of corn and meat that she intends to make a barbecue with. Shortly afterward, they arrive at the location and Nao tells the boys to carry the tent's materials while the girls carry the food. This is when it dawns on the boys that they are going to be sleeping overnight. Nao cannot believe how dumb the duo is. They are there to stay till the target shows his face. They get to the top of the mountain where a picture of the target was taken. As they start to set up camp, Nao warns Yuu at the last minute that there is a well around. Yuu almost falls into the well and Noah reveals that she wanted Yuu to fall into it. Yuu is shocked that Nao is ready to let him die just so she can laugh. After setting up camp, Yuu calls his sister that he won't be coming home that day because he is on a trip with the council. Misa sets up a fire for the team to grill the corn they bought. After this, she gives Yusa back control of her body so she can enjoy the sweet taste of grilled corn. They also grill meat and sausages. That night, Yuu finds Nao sitting alone in the woods and listening to music. She reveals that the music she is listening to is from the band, Jiend, which her brother loves. Yuu listens to the music and he also enjoys it so much. Nao decides to give Yuu her music player so he can keep listening to music with it. Before sleeping, the team makes a shift on who to stand watch. The girls are to be on the first shift while the boys take over and watch over till the next morning. Yuu puts earphones in his ears to listen to Shen band music. As he sleeps, he sees the image of someone that looks familiar in his dream. He doesn't know who the person is, so he just decided to take it off his mind for the meantime. The following day, the team continues having fun. They catch fish in the river, grill them, and eat them. Nao makes a hot bath for the girls, only while the boys go to the cold river to wash themselves. As the boys complain of cold, the girls are busy enjoying a warm bath. While washing their body, Yuu realizes that Takaju is actually ripped. Even with that, he still wears a designed armor under his cloth to protect him because of his uncontrollable speed. Takaju advises Yuu to get strong too, because he will never know when he will need it. That night, Yuu complains that they are already staying long on the mountain, but Nao cuts in and says no one is leaving until their target reveals himself. The next morning, the team resumes their usual routine of grilling corn. Just then, the target appears from the woods and threatens to call the police if they don't leave. Nao lets him know that they are aware of his power, and that if he should call the police, he will be arrested also. In addition, the land they are standing on is private property. The target looks surprised by what Nao is saying and protests that he doesn't have any superpower. Nao tricks him into coming closer, and he accidentally falls into the well. The boy is forced to use his power to fly out of the well, and Nao is able to get a good shot. The boy has been on the mountain and practicing his flying. He's holed up there and doesn't want anyone to disturb his practice. This is the reason he is forced to show his face because he hasn't been able to practice. The boy steals the camera from Nao and starts to fly away, but Yuu possesses him and makes him fall to the ground with minor injuries. The camera is okay, by the way, because it got caught in tree branches. Nao tells the boy about the scientists who are looking to experiment on superhumans. She advises the boy to stop using his powers before they find him. The team is happy that they managed to complete their mission without any casualties. Yuu makes it back home and his sister has been waiting for him ever since. To welcome him, Ayumi makes a noodle dish she didn't add the pizza sauce to. Yuu eats the food and enjoys it. He is more happy that the pizza sauce is not added to the food. As they eat, Ayumi starts sneezing and Yuu concludes that she has contracted a cold. Ayumi tells his brother a boy asked her out in school, but she turned him down. Ayumi's temperature starts to go up, so Yuu made to have a bath. He tucks her in afterward and assures her that she will be fine by the next morning. The next day, Yuu wakes up to see that Ayumi has not gotten any better. He urges Ayumi to rest very well, and he would report her absence to the school. Upon getting to school, the collaborator enters the office and points to the map. He shows them the location of the next target and reveals that the target's power is collapse. Nao says the power might be to make things fall apart. It seems the power is meant for destruction. They examine the map and realize that the target is at the school's apartment. It is usual for someone to be at the apartment at the time of the day. It is evident that none of the parents can have power because it only manifests during puberty. It's possible the target is sick at the moment. It immediately dawns on Yuu that the target might be his sister. Yuu tells the team that his sister is sick and now says it is highly possible she is developing her powers because it is very likely among siblings. They need to go and check on Ayumi and see if she is okay. Yuu is excited that Ayumi will finally be able to see Yusa, who she has always adored. The only problem now is Takaju. He might be a problem because he still cannot control himself around Yusa. Yuu thinks of possessing Takaju and throwing him out of the window. He is still having this thought when Nao pushes Takaju out of the office through the window. He says Takaju will be okay because he wears armor under his clothes. Moreover, he recovers very quickly, so that shouldn't be a problem. Before leaving the office, Nao calls an ambulance to come over and check on Takahu. They visit a store to buy things for Ayumi. They get to the door and Yuu points out that her sister is a big fan of Yusa. It will not be advisable for her to enter like that because Ayumi might end up having a nosebleed from too much excitement. Yusa needs to wear a disguise till they can slowly introduce her to Ayumi. Yusa agrees and dresses up as a regular human during COVID by wearing a nose mask and sunglasses. Yuu is the first to enter and he sees 3 of Ayumi's classmates with her. Nomura is the class representative, Oikawa is the boy Ayumi turned down, and Konichi is a regular scary-looking girl. The trio reveals that they came to visit Ayuma when they learned that she was sick. Since Yuu is home, Ayuma's friends say goodbye and leave. Nao enters the house and Yusa also enters with her disguise. It comes as a shock to everyone when Ayumi recognizes Yusa even with the disguise. She gets excited and starts to nosebleed. Nao holds her nose and tells her to breathe through her mouth. When the bleeding stops, Yusa takes off her disguise and Ayumi gets a nosebleed from excitement once more. They soon start to eat and Ayumi has loads of fun with the group. Shortly afterward, Yusa receives a call and she's asked to report to work. After she left, Nao and Yuu wash the plates together. Ayumi lets it out that the two are perfect for each other. They look just like a couple, but the duo screams out that they are not dating. Before Nao leaves, Ayumi tells them that she had a dream. After Nao's departure, Yuu asks his sister what her dream is about. She narrates that she felt a crack in the ground and it split wide open. This scares Yuu the more because her dream is pointing toward collapse. The next day, Yuu tells the council about the dream and he is informed to keep a close eye on Ayumi. She should not be allowed to leave the house until further information is known. Up next, Yuu instructs Ayumi to stay home even though Ayumi claims that she is already feeling better. After Yuu left the apartment, Ayumi also sneaks out of the building to go to school. Yuu is at the office when he is informed that Ayumi is now in school. They decide to go and check on her immediately. Now in her school, Ayumi is approached by Oikawa. He tries to make advances toward her, but Ayumi turns her down again. Ayumi is walking through the lobby when she runs into Konishi. Konishi holds a knife and reveals her intent to harm Ayumi. Apparently, Oikawa had eyes for Konishi before Ayumi's arrival at the school. Since Ayumi got to the school, Oikawa has not made advances toward Konishi again. Ayumi is scared, and she starts to move backward, but Konishi traps her and forces her to the wall. She is about to cut Ayumi when she screams and the ground beneath her breaks open. Konishi manages to escape, but Ayumi falls down the opening. Yuu and the council get there to witness a quarter of the building go down to the ground with Ayumi in it. Without hesitation, Yuu jumps into the rubles to look for Ayumi, but a ruble falls on him and knocks him out.